Hey everybody, Mary Beth Grasso here with your Friday listing and marketing video. For those who celebrate Passover, happy Passover. And for those who celebrate Easter, I'll be thinking of you this holiday holy weekend, and I hope you are able to celebrate with family and friends. I'm up here in Mattapoisett. My sister had a full knee replacement, and I'm actually at the Historical Museum and Carriage House. And they have this thing where it says, come into our yard, and they have all kinds of things that talk about the school, it talks about the library where I worked, and the town hall. I didn't work there. But there's a tremendous amount of history. For example, the Mattapoisett Historical Society, the Mattapoisett Museum, used to be the Christian church circa 1821. So anyhow, I'm feeling like I'm loving these traditional antique homes, and I'll share a little bit of this. When I was growing up, we moved from California, Southern California, to Mattapoisett, and some of my family is actually still up here, so I love coming up here. Sometimes you need to go away to be able to come back and realize how much you like it. So anyhow, enjoy the pictures and the little video clips, B-rolls, I think Jops calls them, and also our listing at 2302 Elm Street, which in Stratford was built in 1769. I was going to say 1679. So 1769. That home is amazingly spectacular. Transitions from an older home to a newer home with a beautiful kitchen, which is where you hang out most of the time. So anyhow, check out the video for 2302 Elm Street. I know I said it last week, but I don't think y'all looked at it. And you know what? It's a great video. The music is so fun. You'll want to be, swinging your hips and dancing along in the kitchen to the video, to the music, to the video. So enjoy the little snippets from the Mattapoisett Museum. They're lovely, fun, and a little bit of history in my world. So have a beautiful Passover and Easter weekend, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week. See ya.
Welcome to the Stephen Frost House, also known as 2302 Elm Street. This house is a 1769 salt box. A salt box is a reference to the roof line being lower in the back than it is in the front, very common to that era. The house is situated, it's on Elm Street, but it's actually the Boston Post Road, the old Post Road, the one that the postmaster Benjamin Franklin laid out at the time from New York to Boston. So this was the main street of the town for over 100 years. This is a neat place to start the tour because it shows you an important piece of the evolution of the house. This very elegant, gracious entrance hall was not here for the first half of the house's history. It would have been a solid chimney with flanking fireplaces in either first floor rooms as well as second floor rooms, and a giant beehive oven on the living room side. So right now we enjoy it as a gracious entrance hall. Stairway to the second floor, Ancestral Hall of Fame, beautiful paneling. So this room was important because where all the most important guests came would have been entertained here. Stephen Frost was an Episcopalian. He is designated, I see his pew in the Wilcoxon history, and you can see, you can picture that the minister, the Reverend, would have come here and had tea served in this lovely room. Some of the features that are interesting in this room, originally, there would have been a time period before electricity, but when gas lighting was invented, and that's what this ceiling fixture is. Original to the room is this really special corner cupboard, built-in corner cupboard. You will see this piece in other houses in the neighborhood, a craftsman that went around from home to home in that period designing these formal corner cupboards. There's a pocket door in this room which really gives the space a lot of versatility. Right now it's being used as a parlor or sitting room, but it is really well suited for home office. And just closing that pocket door allows you to either have the openness of the space or a little bit of privacy. Now we're in what we in modern day call the living room. It was called the keeping room for a couple hundred years. And I really love in this room, first of all, the size and the scale, also that it is sort of delineated into thirds by these giant hand-hewn beams. This first section that we're in now, we use this as a living room, and it's quite well suited for that purpose, just a comfortable place to relax. This center section has its most distinguishing feature is the gas log, and it just creates such a cozy wintertime gathering place that is very welcoming. And on the other side of this little area here, this has really worked well, this little nook, as it can be a homework table, can be a game table with some nice built-ins to support the use of space. The last third of the room is an open space. It's an entry to so many areas of the house: the kitchen, the living room, the porch, the dining room. So you can use it as a pass-through, but it also functions beautifully as a music room. The piano being a highlight here allows you to entertain your guests if you happen to play, or supervise your youngsters as they practice. The most noteworthy architectural detail here in this remaining part of the living room is this primitive corner cupboard. This is an original piece, and what is most outstanding about this is it actually has original paint and hinges. The kitchen historically represents two main additions. When the woman of the house no longer had to walk into the giant open fireplace with the beehive oven that used to be in the living room, keeping room, she then had like a potbelly stove, a coal stove, and this is an original fireplace for that. Probably happened maybe after the Civil War. So this little area here where there currently is a wood-burning stove was the original kitchen. Then in the maybe turn of the century, early 1900s, this space was enlarged to its current day dimensions, then again renovated in 2012 to include probably the two best features I think in this room are the built-in hutch with the diamond pane glass that mirrors the diamond panes that were put into the living room, as well as this banquette. And this banquette is so flexible for eating. Obviously, one could seat one or two. You can also get a bunch of little kiddos in there with pizza, and the space is very, very flexible. This bar with the stovetop is such a great open kitchen concept. It is very pleasant to be able to be part of who's sitting at the table, who's sitting in front of the wood-burning stove, looking out the big windows, feeling that this space is completely open and yet has all the modern touches in an easy workspace. The wood-burning stove in the kitchen is the favorite for so many people that walk through these doors of the cooler months. This stove, when you put a few logs in there, it creates a warmth and a welcome that really nothing else can. Sitting here in front of this, having a cup of tea, having a cup of coffee, having a glass of wine, entertaining, it's such a cozy place. This screen porch has got to be the favorite room of both the occupants of this house as well as all guests that come in. It may not look like much now because that vine has not yet put out its leaves and its flowers, but that entire area will turn into this leafy bower with dappled sunlight coming through that keeps the room cool. The screen's obviously bug-free. The room is a great size also. There's plenty of space for dining for six, as well as comfortable seating. It's got a hand-painted floor. It is absolutely a delightful space to spend time in the warmer months. If you've never had a formal dining room before, you may not have experienced the joy of bringing together multiple people in a gracious and welcoming room that everyone can be together. You could even call it Norman Rockwell-ish. It just feels so nice to be able to have this space that In the warmer months, the French doors open and you can walk into the porch. When you're having a party, there's a great flow available because all these rooms are open. You can go out into the living room, you can go onto the porch from the living room, you can go out from the dining room, guests can come in from the front door. Wonderful flow available here. This room has hosted beautiful family gatherings and will continue to do so for your memories as well. This room also has the Victorian sliding pocket doors, and of note are the original 16-inch chestnut floorboards. This is the second floor landing, which you might think would be space that you wouldn't highly utilize, but it's so large. It's got some great storage capabilities, and all your Christmas decorations fit beautifully in that little hidey hole closet. The primary bedroom stands out because it has original flooring, as well as this great built-in of double closets. In the upstairs bathroom, some would say this was the best seat in the house, but the light in here is so delightful, really nice. And if you can visualize taking a bath with this wonderful giant bathtub, it is so soothing and relaxing. This room is super fun because the entire second half of it wasn't, as of 30 years ago. There was this large amount of space over the ceiling of the kitchen. There was a whole roof line unused, and we were able to remove the original shake roofing between these two beams and create this nifty little bedroom that can be used, yes, to sleep, but also it can be used as a children's playroom. There's this room for a smaller bedroom is just adorable. This room is probably the largest of the 4 bedrooms. It has a smaller closet, which is why we didn't use it as the primary bedroom. This room is neat because it actually has an architectural detail found in some of the earliest homes in New England. It's called a summer beam. It's this cross piece that goes across the ceiling in the room. Original floor in this smaller bedroom, and the thing that is really helpful in this bedroom is that the built-ins have doubled the amount of space that a small bedroom might have, along with that built-in desk. Really, really useful, makes great use of the space. The attic is a very usable space. It's been wired for heat, electricity. The steam system, furnace of the house also goes up there. It can be used for many interesting different crafts or writing. A writing nook could be a playroom, or it could be storage. The attic, we are told, was actually inhabited by a family with 11 children in the 1960s. From about 1900 to 1960, it had dormers both on Elm Street and facing the backyard, which of course would have given it a little more livability. The backyard is a good sized space. It's quite deep, so it gets private in the back. There is a fire pit, which is very enjoyable in the summer. And you might even be surprised because you wouldn't have been expecting that there is a giant swimming pool in the back. That swimming pool is 30,000 gallons. It's 18 by 30. It's surrounded by a big deck. And the part of the barn that is closest to it can be used as a summer kitchen to augment your entertaining out there. The Carriage House is, say, circa Civil War, and it originally was constructed to keep the carriages. That's the part that could be now a garage. The centerpiece of the Carriage House is where the horses were, and that now has been created into a really nifty workshop with shelves and workbenches. The next piece of the Carriage House is modern. That was put on in the 1980s to support the then new swimming pool, and it can be used additionally as a workshop. It has a furnace, a propane furnace that keeps it warm in the winter if it's used for that purpose, or it could be a summer kitchen. The kitchen garden next to the back entrance of the house is a duplication of a very classic Williamsburg type garden that would have been found in a house of this age. The bricks actually they're antique, Many of them are from the chimney of this house. And this little seating area is a place to enjoy the morning sun. It faces to the east, and watch your tomato plants grow. And it's covered, the whole south wall is covered in roses, climbing roses. Thank you for joining us on this tour of the Stephen Frost House, 2302 Elm Street.